Hi guys, before we start the video I just want to say thank you very much for liking, commenting and subscribing to my channel for the past 3 years. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for taking your time out to watch my videos, and yeah, cheers guys, and fingers crossed for the future because there's plenty more to come. Enjoy the video. Hi guys, it's me, Dan the Batman, here doing a movie review of Batman Forever from 1995. So this movie turns 20 this year, or it turned 20 years old in June, I believe. Just double check. Yes, it turned 20 years old on June the 16th. And some of you will probably be a bit surprised by this review that I'm doing. Usually you're seeing videos of me reviewing toys and all sorts, but I thought I'd try something a little bit different, and hopefully if this review does well I will make some more movie reviews, and let me know if you'd like me to make some more film reviews in the comment section below. So before we begin, I just want to say a few words. It's been quite a while since I've posted a video. Reason being is because I've been working and I haven't had time to make videos. But I'm back for a new review, and I have made some notes because I did rewatch Batman Forever the other day. And I think the most important thing we should start off with is the background of this movie, because this had a very, not a troubled background, but it took a while for it all to come together, because as some of you know, Batman Returns is a movie which isn't very popular with some Batman fans, as some consider it to be a bit too dark. I personally don't mind it, as I've mentioned in a review. This film was quite, I don't know how to say it really. It didn't make as much money as the first Batman movie from a few years before, and many believed that it was because of its dark overtone and it not being suitable for children, and so Warner Brothers wanted to tone the violence down and make it more family friendly, and so they asked Joel Schumacher, who some of you may know, to direct it. And obviously this was produced by Tim Burton, who'd obviously done the previous two Batman films, but after the flop, what considered by Warner Brothers to be Batman Returns, he took over as, well, he stepped down as director and he was a producer instead. And I think this was the only this was the last Batman film he was involved with. I don't believe he was involved with Batman and Robin, but if I'm incorrect, please do let me know in the comments section below. So this film is very underrated because a lot of people compare it to this film, Batman and Robin. But Batman Forever is very different to Batman and Robin, and I'll go into it now with a review of it. Now, some of you probably wondering how I'm going to structure this review. I'm going to be basically talking about the good parts, the bad parts, whether I recommend it, and what rating I give out of 5, like 5-star, what you get on a movie board and the movie websites and stuff. And yeah, so it may take a little while to get through, but we'll see how we go. So the first thing what we must talk about is the good stuff. Now, rewatching it recently, I had forgotten a lot of the stuff what was contained in this movie, namely the opening sequence, which is of course the bank sequence and the helicopter scene, and that. Those first 11 minutes are excellent. That's what you need to get from a summer blockbuster. Just chasing, Batman kicking Two-Face's ass. You know, it was really, really cool. And obviously I'll go into the negatives later on, but for the most part, that chase sequence is really cool. Like spoilers, that's the thing I need to say, spoilers throughout this video. Obviously the Statue of Liberty gets blown up, well, the top half gets blown up by the helicopter, which is a very, very cool sequence. I used to love that sequence as a kid. It was very clever, like how the propellers like serrated the statue and just blew it up, which was really cool. And they do use a lot of miniatures in this, which I do like, because obviously it looks a little bit better than CGI, which is a good thing. So yeah, so I've said about the opening, the music by Elliot Goldenthal, I think his name is. Let me just check. Elliot Goldenthal, I think that's how you pronounce it. I know what happened, so say in the comments section below whether I'm saying it right or wrong. The music made by him, or composed for this movie, is absolutely fantastic. Like, during its dark moments of the film, the music sets the tone really well, especially when it talks about Bruce's life and like sort of how he became Batman, but in a different sort of way. Like, it's a bit different to what you get in Batman Begins, which is a completely different sort of story, which is shown in this film compared to Batman Begins. But the music, as I said, really does set the tone, and it does show a more colourful and more, I don't know really, it's more of a more good, I think it's a better film really to look at when you look at like the visuals and the music, and I'll go on to the visuals in a minute. And the fact that, I don't know really what to say really about the music. I mean, it's just cool, and it's worth a listen by itself. Like, I think you can look on Spotify for little bits of music what he's done. I don't think the Batman and Robin one's available for music wise. The soundtrack for Batman Forever is available, and I think you can buy it still on iTunes and what have you. But if you know that, please do let me know. The next thing is Val Kilmer. Now, some of you out there probably don't even know who Val Kilmer is. It's this guy right here. Val Kilmer, apparently Joel Schumacher had seen him in Tombstone. He thought he was really good in it, so he hired him. And as a kid, I didn't mind Val Kilmer. I thought he was a pretty good Batman. He's definitely one of my favourite Batmans. He's not the worst, certainly not the worst, because there are far worse ones, which I may go into in another review, if you'd like me to. Yeah, Val Kilmer as Batman. As a kid, I didn't really mind him. I kind of preferred, at the time when I was first watching, I kind of preferred Michael Keaton. Watching it now, I actually kind of prefer Val Kilmer to Michael Keaton. I know a few fans out there are going to go, what? Michael Keaton? He's cool. Yeah, he is cool. But I just think Val Kilmer plays Batman a little bit more, I wouldn't say better, but he has a different look about him. He's a bit more unique in like his characteristics. I think that's probably why Joel Schumacher hired him, so he could play all the different parts. You know, the billionaire Bruce Wayne, the trouble Bruce Wayne, the superhero Batman or Bruce Wayne. And I give him, like, when I was watching a few sequences of him as Bruce Wayne, you could actually believe him. Like, with all the stuff he was chatting like about this book, what his dad has, and like how he, you know, there was a big, I don't know, there was a certain thing what was lost. Obviously it's terrible when his parents died in the story, but you see by his performance that it has troubled him throughout his life. And when Robin's parents get killed, and I think it's his brother, it might be his brother, when they get killed, he starts to have more flashbacks. And I think that's right, there's a scene when Dr. Chase Meridian, she drops her glass, and obviously the vase and the rose drop to the ground, and you see flashbacks to his parents got murdered. And I think it's a very well made film in terms of visuals, and that scene certainly is a really clever scene, how it's made. What next? Alfred, played by the late Michael Gough. He, of course, is in all of the original Warner Brothers films throughout the 90s and late 80s. All these films here. He was in every single one, and he's brilliant in all of them. And he's just a bit more. I think he you can tell he's having fun with it. Like, there's a scene which made me laugh when I rewatched it. It's the scene when it's right at the start when he's getting all the gear on and everything, and he says, "Would you care for a sandwich, sir?" And then you just see Val Kilmer go, "I'll get drive-through." I love that. It's really funny. And that's one of the other things I do like about it. The one-liners are very funny. They're more funny than the ones in Batman and Robin, which are just terrible, like freeze and all that. I've mentioned how it's funny, it's very comedic, mainly because you've got like characters like Jim Carrey in it, who's brilliant. The fight scenes and the action in general is pretty good. You of course have got the awesome helicopter fight sequence. You've got the mansion fight, you know, when they burst into the Bruce Wayne's mansion and have a fight. That's really good. You've got the Batmobile fight sequences and the chase sequences, like when they're in the tunnel or alleyways. I won't spoil that too much because you've got to see that to really see how cool it is. The Batmobile is very good. I think it's more, I don't know, I think the look of this Batmobile is just, I think it is my favourite Batmobile out of all of them. I'm not that keen on the Batman and Robin one because it just looks a bit like a toy. It doesn't look like a proper machine. This does. This actually looks very cool. The only thing which someone has pointed out is that it's not very good to, it's very hard to control, and you kind of see it when it's being chased and that, but it doesn't bother me because it looks cool. It sort of looks a bit more classic, like the old classic 60s TV show. Obviously it's not the same one, but you know, it's still good. So I've mentioned the fight sequences. The Batmobile, as I said, looks very cool. Jim Carrey, he's one of the reasons you should watch this film, because at the time when this film came out, he was on his way to become a really, really popular Hollywood star. Like, of course, The Mask was out, Ace Ventura was out, and everyone was excited when they saw him in movies. And Joel Schumacher had worked with him previously and earlier on in their careers, and he thought he'd be brilliant as the Riddler. And I don't complain. I can't see why he wouldn't cast him, because, you know, he's funny. He's got sort of that look what the Riddler in the old 60s TV show has. I know a lot of people have complained he does act like The Mask and everything, which he does, but that's just Jim Carrey's character. And as my sister said the other day, he plays practically the same part every time, which is kind of true, but I still think you can tell he's having fun with it. Like the scene when he blows up the Batcave, he's having a blast with that. He doesn't care even if he's in a silly costume, he's having fun with it, which is good. The visuals, as I've mentioned previously, they're very cool. They have a mix between colour, very colourful and very dark, make it very gothic, and it's very clever how it switches to colourful, really colourful and brilliant, you know, all like there's colours everywhere all over Gotham City, then it goes all dark and it's all not depressing, but you know, it gets very dark, sets the tone, more darker tone, which I think Joel Schumacher did a brilliant job on this film with that. And a lot of people say this film is darker than Batman and Robin, which it is, and this film does feel more like a real Batman movie, unlike the one afterwards. So that's all the good stuff. Yeah, that's all the good stuff, so we will now go to the bad stuff. And now we're going to talk about the things what I don't like about the film, or I feel that weren't really needed. And the main one, I think, really is the nipples on the Bat costume and on Robin's costume. Do we really need them? I mean, really? Do you have to have nipples on the Bat costume? Obviously, you don't notice them as much in the Forever Bat suit. Obviously, the second Bat suit. This costume. They're not on there, but with his main costume, they're on there. And it's... I really don't know why they added them. It just seems a bit silly, you know. And Robin's one is just a bit... Really? Do you have to have it on Robin as well? Oh, that's one of the things I don't like about Joel Schumacher's take on Batman. The bat nipples. Why? Just why, okay? The cheesy dialogue. Now, when I say cheesy dialogue, I mean some of the dialogue either doesn't make sense or it's a little bit too campy. Like Jim Carrey, some of the stuff he does is a bit okay. It's a bit too cheesy. But when I was watching it, I thought, is it a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, Batman, I think, because it's supposed to kind of mimic the 50s take on... Well, Batman from the 50s, supposed to mimic Batman from the 50s, early 60s, and obviously the TV show, it does feel a little bit like the TV show, which I don't mind, because I grew up on the Batman TV show a couple of years ago when I was really, really into Batman. Obviously I am, but when I was little I used to be really into Batman. And it just doesn't bother me, the cheesy dialogue. I think like some of the cheesy dialogue is funny. Like there's a scene when you've got Two-Face and he goes, oh, what's the thing he says? Oh no, sorry, it's what Riddler says. When Batman is he's in the, no, he's not in the bat, no, sorry, forget what all that. Robin's in the bat boat and he's on the sea and they've got these like bat chess pieces and they're pressing it to activate mines, and he blows up Robin in the bat boat, or he thinks he's blown him up. Of course, we all know he survives, and he does this thing where he just goes, oh, "You sunk my battleship," and it's just so a bit okay. It's a bit cheesy, but it doesn't bother me. It bothers me quite a bit in Batman and Robin, the cheesy dialogue. But less said about that film, the better. I shouldn't keep on comparing it to Batman and Robin, because it is a good film overall. What else? Riddler. Well, Jim Carrey's take on the Riddler. Some people have said it's not very accurate. Some of the stuff, or how he behaves, personally doesn't bother me at all. I do think he does steal the show, but again, good thing or bad thing? I'd say it's kind of a good thing, because when you think about it, like all the actors, like you can tell he's having fun with it, and he's trying to, you know, send off a really good performance as the Riddler, and he is one of the most iconic villains in comic book history, really, to be honest. So yeah, I haven't got a problem with that, but I do get the feeling he does steal the show a little bit. And he kind of like, when he first meets up with Two-Face, you think, oh, it's going to be really good, Two-Face, Riddler, and they team up. But Two-Face sort of becomes Riddler's bitch. Like, he sort of does everything what Riddler tells him to do. Like, he says, oh yeah, go and sort out Batman. And Two-Face is like, okay, I'll go. And obviously he teams up with him and he tries to find out who Batman is. That's the general plot of the movie, and I haven't said that yet, what the plot is. It's just basically Riddler wants to find out who Batman is, teams up with Two-Face to try and find out who he is, and that's all I'm going to say. And yeah, so I kind of think that Two-Face becomes Riddler's bitch, which is a big shame, because Two-Face, when you first see him, you think this movie could have been just Two-Face, because I've always found Two-Face a really cool character, especially this version from Batman Forever. And I was never a big fan of him in the original animated TV show from the 90s. I just didn't really buy it. I liked him more in the, I think it might have been the Batman series, you know, the cartoon The Batman. I think he was in that. I liked that version of him better, and obviously he's been in tons of stuff like comics and things. I do like the look of Two-Face, like in the not Dark Knight Rises, the Dark Knight. Obviously, he's in that, and he's really cool. I love the design of the Dark Knight. I kind of prefer this version because it kind of, I don't know, it sort of looks a bit more comic book style, the way it's designed. But I really did think, watching this, it's a shame he didn't have the whole film. He wasn't the villain, he was just the main villain rather than having two villains, which is, it worked in Batman Returns sort of, and sort of in Batman and Robin, but with this one, I do think had Jim Carrey not been in it, I think it still would have been a good movie, and obviously vice versa, because I do like him. I do like Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. I think he's good. I know a lot of people describe it as a very bad performance. To be honest, if it is, so what? He's having fun with it. And like, as he said in a quote, he said, "I get to be a comic book villain." It's a once in a lifetime offer. If someone turns around and said, "Oh yeah, do you want to be Two-Face?" You'd be like, "Yeah." So we move on to one of my points, which some people have pointed out on reviews I've watched, which is Nicole Kidman. Now, Nicole Kidman, I'm not going to complain. She's hot. Okay, I'm just saying, she's hot. But she doesn't really do anything. Like, she sort of stands around, like, saying, "Oh, I love you, Batman," and all that. And I'm like, you're supposed to be investigating Two-Face, and you don't actually investigate anything. You just sort of want to rope Batman, which is a bit, do we really need that? No, I don't know. But I do think Nicole Kidman's a good actress. I've seen her in quite a few films. She's pretty good. But as I said, she's very forgettable. Same with Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon. I think he's very good. Obviously, Pat Hingle's always good in all the original 4 films as Commissioner Gordon. In this one, I didn't realise how much how very little there is of him in this film. Obviously, he's in Batman Returns a little bit more, and Batman and Robin he's in quite a bit, and obviously the original Batman he's in quite a bit. But I just thought he didn't really come across as Commissioner Gordon. He sort of came across as the cop going, "Oh yeah, how you doing, mate?" One of those sort of cops. But obviously he's trying to be friendly. So yeah, I still like Pat Hingle's take on Commissioner Gordon. I used to like him as a kid, like when I used to see him, because he's got the moustache, he's got the jacket and everything, how Commissioner Gordon should look. The CGI is a bit dated, but then you've got to remember it's 20 years ago, like 20 years ago CGI was very new technology, and like some of the films that came out before this, such as Terminator 2, trying to think of ones, The Abyss, other CGI films like Toy Story, completely different, but you know what I mean. CGI was very new at the time, and I think they didn't abuse the CGI with CGI, but they sort of overused it in certain sequences. Like the bit when you see Wayne Tower, I think it's Wayne or Wayne Enterprises, you see these little bits here and there, and they do look very noticeable as fake, but it doesn't bother me when I think about it. It's a little bit dated, but it doesn't bother me at all. I think that is everything. Let me just check my list. Yeah, I think that is everything. Also, there is a point in one of the things I didn't like about it, or about the film, was the fact that I think it comes to about the middle, and then it sort of gets a little bit boring for the first 10-20 minutes. Obviously it's all talk, it's a bit of padding here and there, and then obviously you get onto the mansion fight scene, and then the main face-off, hint hint, between Batman and the villains and Robin. Obviously Robin first joins Batman by his side, because obviously he wasn't in Batman Returns. He originally was going to be in it, but they just had too many characters. That's one of the things why a lot of people don't like Batman Returns, because there's too many characters, too many plot holes and storylines going on, and that's probably why they wrote him out. But Chris O'Donnell is good in this film, alright? He's not... I don't like him in Batman and Robin. He just moans all the time. But this one you truly do believe that he is a good character. He's a good Robin. I know some people have said, oh, he's too old. So what? If he can act, you know, go for it. So now I've got that out of the way, it's time to give this film a rating. Now, what should we give this film? I mean, if I was a kid, I'd probably give this about 4. I wouldn't give it. I don't know if I'd give it 5. If I was a kid, I'd probably give it about 4.5. But I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give this film an average review. I'm going to give it 3.5. I do think that if you're a fan of Batman and you're a fan of like Batman comics, or you know, you're just a general Batman fan, I really do think you'll like this. And of course, if you've watched, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy and you want to go back and see other Batman movies, go with this one. This is a really good one because it's a mix of between dark and colourful. It's got a lot of dark and colourful themes to it, which is cool, which is what you want really for a good film, especially for children. I mean, this film, although it's a PG, I'd still recommend this to families if you want to watch a good Batman movie. It's obviously not 15 like the first two were. I would recommend watching this, especially if you haven't seen it before. I mean, when I first watched this, I watched this on VHS. I've still got the old VHS tape. I've still kept it because it's, you know, it's one of the first Batman movies I ever saw. It's kind of nice to keep it. I do own, I think I own 1 or 2 other videos, well, Batman videos, but if you want to see them in another video, please do let me know. But yeah, as I was saying, I went off topic there. If you haven't seen this movie before, definitely check it out. It's a good watch. It's only on for, it's 115, yeah, 115 minutes, just under 2 hours. And it doesn't feel like over nearly 2 hours at all. It does go really quick because it goes from like action piece to action piece. Really, it goes scene to scene really quickly. And it has got some good stars in it. Some who've not been forgotten, but you don't really see him in much really anymore. Like Val Kilmer. It's a shame he didn't do another Batman film, but never mind. I still remember him in this being really good as Batman, and also in the Bat costume. I really like the Batman costume for this film. I kind of prefer the costume he has in the final part of the film. You know, I think it's a prototype of a suit, which obviously, spoiler, Batcave gets destroyed and he has, this costume's the only one left, and so he goes with that costume, and it's really cool. It's like got a silver look to it. Anyway, it's time for me to go now, so I hope you've enjoyed this review. I know it's been a bit, I've been going back and forth with stuff, but this is really just a pilot. So obviously, if this movie review does do well, I will structure the reviews a little bit better, not have like, I mean, this isn't the best place to do reviews, well, because this is the only best place to do it at the moment with all the lighting, but yeah, it'll be a bit more structured. This is just a test video, so if you guys have enjoyed this video, please do post below, say I really enjoyed it, or even if you didn't enjoy it, like, you know, it doesn't matter. I respect your opinions. Like this video, dislike it, I don't know. Tell me in the comment section below what your favourite Batman movie is. Tell me your thoughts on this movie. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's the best Batman movie ever? Or do you think it's the worst Batman movie ever? You think it's the best? No, it's the worst movie ever. Please do post below, and if you'd like me to do any other movie reviews, namely of, you know, the other Batman movies, do post below, because I've got all of the theatrical films. I haven't got the Mask of the Phantasm, but I have got like the Dark Knight trilogy and the 90s Batman movies. But if you'd like to see more reviews of these, as well as other movies, like whether it be action, horror, I'm not really into comedy. I mean, I like comedies, but I don't really want to review comedies because you kind of spoil the main jokes. But if you'd like me to review anything like that, you know, comedies, action movies, please leave your suggestions below. And also, before I go, one other little thing. If you would like to ask me a question, because I'm planning on doing a Q&A at some point, please post below. It could be about how I make videos, what got me into making videos on this channel, but you know, how did the idea come up, you know, do you want to see some of the figures what I've still got and what I am planning on reviewing, you know, do you want to see more VHS tapes or anything that I still own? Please do post below all your questions. So I'll be interested to hear what you guys are interested in me doing in the future with regards to videos, if that makes sense. So thanks a lot guys, because I've got to switch off now. Hope you're all having a good summer. Obviously when you're watching this you're probably all broken up now. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you probably guys are probably all broken up now. Yeah, it's the 28th today I think. So you'll be all broken up school. Let me know what you guys are up to. You watching movies, what are coming out at the moment. Obviously you've got Jurassic World, Terminator Genesis, Minions, you've got all the I do really believe that this is the best summer in ages for cinema. It's just got all these cool films out. But leave a comment in the section below if what films you're watching this summer, what the films you're going to avoid or anything like that. So thanks a lot guys. I hope you feel free to comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon. Take care guys. See you later.